now we introduce like an active version of this positioning. So like in butterfly guard, you have this and then you have also this. You can argue that this is more active because you can actually go after them easier. You can go wrestle, you can stand up from here. It's kind of hard to chase people here. So this is also more passive, like a panda also, and active. But compared to this where the opponent is, the opponent can be there, so it becomes like a panda. So same position. So an example, what I mean by that is when they're choosing a side, usually choosing a side to push. So I can choose the side to post if they push me a lot. Sometimes it's not enough to have a panda or just passive version, and this side is so empty, so I can have this version. And now it's good because now I can choose, because this is a grip fight. Now I can choose guard. I can choose when, let's say, if they want to go more upper body, I can go more lower body, like I go invert. And also, if they choose, like in arm or wrist fight, if they choose to go to that arm, like crucifix, they wanna chop this arm away, go. I can do very high tellus. So it's basically like first this kind of roll, and we also did like a more those rolls, but basically this version is you can just move around. So if you do this, if they pressure you, and definitely if your brain freeze, and if they go to this arm, you can go this and then change the other side and keep playing that. And it's nice to go invert. It's this hook can pull guard. If you do a nice job, then you can actually shrimp and get both hooks, but usually this hook helps. Kind of like we call it the Marcelo hook. He plays a lot of with the necktie and stuff, and then try to get this hook in and then pulls guard. So that fits. And definitely if they chase you again, go. And this is wonderful. I like to do this in many cases. So example, I have wrist fight, they move the other side. This is very good traditional attack. I call it like a body lock escape from wrestling. You move your arm there and then circle around. So definitely feel like the direction, the point I'm trying to make is you can try to go forward. So they usually pressure, you can go forward then, but they start to pull you down, and then you have this other game of falling and everything else leading, circling their strength. But if they're pressuring you, let's play again. They're pressuring you, you can try to go from here and try to yourself stand up. So let's pressure a little bit. And you go here. Actually, you can try to stand up from here, go totally up, and we'll see what happens. So pressure again. So they're trying to get like our seat belts, underhooks. So you have this, you circle, you have those switches. So that direction of getting more active is a very interesting directions, and we're going to talk about that more also, because it becomes like an active turtle section and everything else. And the passive is you start with this. It's easy to hold, but in a future usually people need more active one, because the active one kind of gives you more options to leave, to move, everything else, and also kind of challenges their posture more, because the other way they can bully a little bit. But if you really give them a direction, and then you kind of fighting them, and it's more kind of fun. And always most posts are away from them. That's really important. So you won't do this, because the crucifixes and everything are there. And if they do a crucifix, then crucifix answer is limp shoulder also. And also you can turn the in, and then crucifix another problem. So if you post, you have to worry about a lot of times how they're gonna catch you. So turning in and turning out, and it's kind of the answer. And crucifix also works because they have a seat belt, and then crucifix is more dangerous. Yeah. But if they don't have a seat belt, if they just do this, then it's easier to turn and get the arm back or turn away. So that's also that will happen to you. And so this is a good introduction to more active version of turtle, and we're gonna spend more time on that, and then we continue. Now we're now we go deeper to the active part of things. So there's panda, there's passive section, and there's active section, like you saw recently. There's turtle, and the turtle has also passive and active section. Turtle DVD is out, so now we're adding the active section to this, and little explanation why we call active. You know, the names are names, so we might change the names in the future, but right now we call them active. So why active? Because it's more motion. It's the activity. It's like right now, like old turtle would be like you here, very passive. You don't do anything. Active is like, you know, you create more opportunities to escape. You seem more open, but actually you're not. So that's the activity level is way different. And I usually recommend do this secondly, like first passive, then active. And then if your active fails, you go back to passive, build yourself up and go active. So it gives you more opportunities to escape and everything else. So, and the position, it's usually, I find it hard to teach in seminars and stuff, because not a lot of jiu-jitsu guys are not used to this, this post that I'm emphasizing a lot, because now we're gonna cover when they want to take my back and everything. So a lot of people are not feeling strong here, so they usually do this, and then, you know, you can, I don't know, hurt your shoulder or something. So this is the position. This example is a referee position or in wrestling. So if you do this, wrestlers use this a lot. You just peek outs, sit outs, everything from here. So it can be weight forward, it can be weight back, and this is I use as an active turtle if opponent is, let's say, side, front, behind. So you're switching sides. And it's very beneficial. It connects to other stuff, like you can go here, you can go panda, again back. You can go panda, you can go up and build yourself up to be more active, and eventually even, you know, stand up. So that's gives you gives you like variety of things to do, kind of like transitional phase also. And you have to know how to be here. It takes a while because people are on you. So we will talk about a little bit about the balance and how to move and what's the positions. And also I will show how this position kind of in jiu-jitsu I use in a lot of places. But so I wanted to just explain the passive and active kind of differences. And I myself do it a lot. So a lot of people feel it's dangerous, but that's what it is. I give you a game here and how to survive most common attacks, and then you can become better and put it in your game and be more annoying and play more safer back towards your opponents. So we continue with those topics. Now we're gonna solve certain problems that I think people will encounter with a passive turtle. So passive turtle, the name is very passive, but then people usually have a hard time when people grabbing their ankles in a passive turtle. And passive, you learn to stay there and, you know, fall and be like Greco guy and come up. But this active turtle and also panda gives you a good option to hide your legs. So what I mean by that is, let's say if you're in passive turtle and they go a little bit behind your hips and they're grabbing your ankles. So I can turn away to panda example, like I will show it one more time. So we're here and they're grabbing, and then I go here and then we're panda. So, and let's say even if there's front turtle and attacker is in front, and if they get past my defense and stuff, they go sideways and then go back. During that transition from front to back, I will switch to panda to just avoid the legs. So example, I showed like they're in front and then they're moving to the side, and then right away I'm hiding my legs. So, and wrestlers do it all the time, it's like sit out. So that's the one way to hide your legs, so they wouldn't grab it. Another way to hide your legs would be like make your legs heavy. So what basically what it means is if there's like behind a little bit in a hip area, and if nobody's holding my head down, so the key would be you don't have to be there anymore. So that's their job, to keep your head on a mat and keep you pressurized. So if they're here, so now they can grab my legs more. Not grab. And now can be a little bit more dangerous. You have to then pull them, they can grab your head. So that's the time, grab ankle. That's the time you will sit up. And now it's a matter of how you sit up. So if I'm doing this, now it's very, very hard to grab my ankle. And I can turn and it becomes a guard pull. Or I can turn and it becomes again like a panda situation and guard pulls. Also like a active turtle when they're behind me. So one of the ways you can counter, I do too. One of the ways you can counter this, like, you know, people had those, they're grabbing this. Just lift your head. And the legs becomes very heavy now. And now it depends which way you want to turn. So that's, I think it's very important to cover that people are too passive in a passive turtle that they don't notice when the weight goes back. So example, if I do it to Ronald, so I'm usually here looking, you know, looking for seat belts, looking here, it's kind of hard to lift their head. And then we're gonna cancel those things, you know, with a decent techniques like we did in a turtle DVD. And everybody else kind of figures out later, oh, I have to be now wrestling techniques and running them over. So as soon as I go a little bit off, that's your time to actually start to lift your head and play more active, turn in, turn out. So I want to like clear that a little bit. You can be annoying in a turtle passive also, fight those things. Let's say I will give you just one reminder of if they grab the head and the bottom leg, run it over, go. If they're on it, so you fold running man and then go back up. So you're kind of stubborn there, but you also have option to just make your legs heavy and all good. So that is very interesting, like an important section that we couldn't cover and when we did that DVD, because it required for you to understand what is actually active turtle. So now we can answer that. So we move on. One other scenario where you can straight go to the active turtle is when they go past your lines. It's like this section, you have side section and you go behind. So like you previously saw, if they're more like a side to me, like side turtle, then if they grab my ankles, I can go here. Probably if I go, there's a side kind of turtle thing going on. If it goes more behind, then like, you know, kind of grab my ankles or doesn't grab my, but it's more behind there. So this is the time you go totally active turtle and then like a back section. So if he's there, so I want to make my legs heavy, and this is really he's nearly now behind me, and we'll see what happens. So this is the back section. You have the like I said, you have the side section, and you actually have the front section, but that's pure wrestling because that's front section, and then, you know, peek out, single legs, double legs, front headlock escapes. So that's, I guess I can have my own opinion about it, but there's way more better guys out there that knows about this section, how to wrestle, and definitely check out the wrestling and wrestlers that know how to deal with guillotines and all those defenses. So it's otherwise the shooting is, you know, not that easy because you have to go through those defenses. So but mostly what I deal in this DVD, like when they're totally behind us. So this section, when they're fighting and, you know, fight their arms and you're gonna pull guard, similar to what we did in Panda also, but now we go way more active and then we start to deal with those. So that's one of the applications also of how the kind of active turtle happens. Another application would be where the active turtle part happens is when somebody goes behind you with a berimbolo or something else and both hooks in and they grab your hip. So the sweep looks like this. So that's the sweep. Sweep looks like this, they're here, and then you fall. Yeah? And then you have hooks in and everything. But I will show you just one way to fall better, and then we go to the active part. So if somebody kicks you, you can already fall here and you don't fall square, and then hooks come in and then you fight. But the other version would be also when they get behind you, you just go here. And now do the sweep. Very, very hard to sweep, and now most people want to go after you. Go. Start to take the back, and then it happens. And also one trick, there's a system, Estonian made system called Unsweepable. And that's if I grab this ankle, straight at the top. Very, very hard to attack actually. And I can also grab this ankle at the top. So it's really weird actually to attack. And if I let go the legs, they will get the legs back, and now they're pressuring me. So there's more ideas there. Unsweepable answers like early, mid and late levels of sweeps and stuff. But this is also the place that active turtle I find it very useful, that you don't fall to people's laps. You lean forward, but then you have a way of leaning, and they're behind you, and then you play. You have a game there, so you're not like giving up your back, because doing berimbolo, going behind, doing the sweep, taking the back, you have to do like 10 major mistakes in a row, maybe 8, but still it's a lot. So that's a very long technique. So, but I would consider back takes definitely work, but I would say if the defense is very good, then you have to have like a shorter techniques. So, but that's another story, another day. But this active turtle is very useful in those kind of places when somebody goes behind and starts to attack, and then you have your idea. So. Now some basic fundamental options how to use active turtle and how to get out of there, pull guard or something. So first, just you want to pull guard, there's no resistance usually. You have to control this. Then this can be a little bit more open, but essentially its elbow is closed. You tuck your chin, everything, those kind of rules. This is away from them, but to pull guard, you just turn, you click that hook. We call them clicks because it's like just the idea about clicks, otherwise it's confusing. You know those metal jackets, they have like those metal buttons, they go like click. So we use those clicks, and sometimes with also pressure, opposite pressure, by actually locking the joints. But so first you do control, and then this bottom leg clicks, and they really can't move that side, and then you're all good. Then you're all set to do something else, and it's easy way to pull guard. If they counter that side, they move there, so it's very hard, so I will switch sides. Go back. So if I'm playing here, I'm always moving, by the way, also, so it's if they move, so I'm always adjusting myself and creating a slack, because they have to follow, and in some way I break the pattern. So let's go there a little bit. So I circle, they circle with me, and they go to my arm, and now it's perfect time to change sides. Pull the elbow back, sit, stand up, what you want to do, and you're ready. So let's do it one more time. So when it's static, it's a little bit harder, but it's always good motion, and I control, they go there. And this becomes dangerous because they can chop this arm, they can try to crucifix. So this is me, I follow, I feed this arm here, turn, and I can also go forward with this turn. So I create space, elbow back, now I'm in. So this kind of simple guard pull, and definitely the switch throws off many people. So very useful, and always good to have two sides, not only one direction, because it's easily to be killed. So we have both directions, you can play with that. And always have like a motion a little bit. That's what also it's active. So a little bit turning, and that creates slack. If they don't follow you, you just create a bigger angle for guard pull. If they follow you, you go there. So that's how boxing works, and that's the same idea. So. Now we're gonna stand up and go down. So opposite direction, like in boxing, you have left and right, you have up and down. So all those 4 directions, you can create enough misdirections and then have success. So stand up here, I control the wrist, I play that, that's my job, and then I just build myself up. They usually grab, and then you break the grip. You can break the grip with a hip forward motion, come after me a little bit. So you can, and then you control, and then you switch, so it becomes like a wrestling body lock fight. So, and this is very, let's say, I would say use this more, because it's very, people don't expect that you will stand up. And you can always stand up, go away, turn around, regain guard. So that's kind of like a funny way to do it, but it's people don't usually expect that. They expect that, oh, you're panicking here, but actually you go here, you strip that grip, and then you're back, control, and then pull guard. And because you have that wrist, it's kind of safe to pull guard also. They can't really do something if you just stop. If you just pull guard without control, they can do stuff. And also going under. Maybe you have done the stand up already many times, so they know that direction. So they usually put their weight more there to make it heavier, they crowd the space more. And that means it's harder for you to stand up, not impossible, but harder. So you can go under. So example, like if here, they start to go over me a little bit more, like here, then why not go under? I guess you can spin under and develop some leg locks also, like Kerry Tonnen has done. People, people have in some one FC grabbed his body lock and run it, and then Tonnen goes under. So those things also happen. But yeah, so one more time. So you're here, they're gonna crowd you more, and so that's, and you have your guard, legs in, and you can always shoot to something if you want more specifics, but there's so many options, let's say, but I'm not gonna show everything. So that's your job to figure it out. You have an option to go out, and now when you have those 4 things, then it's really, let's say, easier to misdirect, build traps, make them believe you do this, go there. So this is how I like to teach these days jiu-jitsu, more like a sport aspect of it. And then just makes more sense to do this way, I would say. And so those are the kind of fundamental ways how you get out of this, or how to use it for escapes. And then probably the section we have to spend more time is like when they jump on our back, and because it seems to be open, it hooks in, and so we're gonna deal with those things now on.